Hi, I'm Anton Product Manager for VPG Micromeasurements.
And I'm Alan Fulbrook, I'm the Sales Manager for the South East of England. Anton, what are these new gauges?
Well, these new gauges have been produced using our advanced sensor technology. The traditional CEAs, our premium gauge that many people are familiar with, is very much liked by engineers across the world, very simple and easy to use, very robust. And we've started to make them using advanced sensors technology. So what we want to do here is bond these gauges back to back to see if there is any difference at all between the traditional CEA and the new CEA using advanced sensors technology. So here we have the traditional CEA, here we have the new CEA. You may notice just that we put the gauges on these boxes here ready to transfer to our pre-prepared surfaces. And from a visual point of view, I cannot see a single difference. Can you see a difference?
They look almost identical.
I would say they look exactly identical unless I get a microscope.
Sure.
So from a point of view of handling, we've handled the gauge in exactly the same way. We prep the beams in exactly the same way you'll see in many of our channel videos. So we're just going to transfer these gauges, bond them down and wire to them. So shall we make a start?
Certainly.
So I'm just going to lift the gauge up at a shallow angle as we normally do. And then transfer the gauges to the pre-prepared surface in the middle of the beam, press down firmly, and then pick up the gauge, shallow angle, ready to apply the adhesive. Okay?
Yep.
So we're going to take the catalyst, wipe the brush on the neck of the bottle. How many times, Alan?
Oh, at least 10.
10 times is the advice. And then using the flat of the brush, single wipe, all the way over the gauge and off into the bottle. And then we allow that to settle for a few seconds so that it evaporates. And whilst we're waiting for that, take a gauze, fold it. I like to fold mine 3 times, get a good solid pad ready to spread the adhesive through. Alan, would you like to put adhesive on your gauge first?
Oh, we're going to use the same bottle so no one's cheating.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got identical process, identical handling, the same bottle of adhesive, 1 drop. Lovely, thank you, Alan. I'm going to put a single drop on mine as well. That is done. Lid straight back on the adhesive when we've finished. Bring the tape over to a shallow angle. Hold in position.
My adhesive to get the full width.
Waiting, waiting, waiting. Patience at this point.
Ready to go.
Ready to go? 3, 2, 1, and off. Gauzes get thrown away, and on with your thumb. So those 2 gauges now have been bonded using the identical process. So, what is the difference with this advanced sensor? Well, it's made using different etching techniques, it's made using different adjustment techniques, but they're using the same backing, the same foil, the same encapsulation, and the same copper coated terminals, which we're going to solder to in a minute. And they will meet or exceed performance of existing CEAs using more modern manufacturing processes. You may note on the engineering data sheet we have the same information, same gauge factor, same thermal output, same resistance, transverse sensitivity. The PDF 417 barcode enables you to scan these straight into a computer, or using our StrainSmart software you can transfer that data straight into the PC. So from that point of view the packs even look identical. Now we should wait another 2 minutes. What do you reckon? I think we should.
You're feeling confident?
We're feeling confident. It's a warm room, so we're going to peel the tape right back over itself, checking the adhesive is cured. Yes, cured.
1 second, I had some off the edge of my beam. There we go, yep.
Okay, so pull the tape gently back off the gauge, and both gauges bonded. Look good. Do they look any different at the moment?
No.
Again, they look identical. Okay, so we're now going to attach lead wires. Bit of drafting tape. We're going to tape off approximately half of the terminal. just going to press down to make sure the adhesive doesn't flow over the gauge. I'm going to tin the two terminals, so make sure my soldering iron is in good condition, the right temperature, a little bit of fresh solder, and ready, tin, 1000, 2000, 1000, 2000, both tinned. The same?
Yep.
Any differences yet, Alan?
Don't believe so.
Take our pre-prepared cables. Again, these are things that you can see in many of our videos online about preparing cables.
Which colour are you putting on which side?
I'm going to put red on the left. Shall we do both the same again?
I think we should do the same.
I think we should do both the same again. So both on tape in place. Make sure that's held in place really well.
Turn mine around for ease of soldering.
Yep. So some of us have a preferential way to do this, but essentially, from a positional point of view, we're still going to use exactly the same technique.
Ready?
Yep. 1000, 2000, 1000, 2000.
Yep.
We're almost synchronized. So, final thing, rosin solvent, and this enables us to clean up and remove the tape and the flux residue so that we don't damage the gauge, and of course we make sure by removing the flux residue we have a long-term reliable installation without any shorting to the substrate, which ultimately we'll test with a Model 1300 gauge installation tester to make sure that our installations are of good quality. And I am happy that that installation is complete. Is yours complete as well, Alan? So, do they look the same?
Identical.
They look identical. So we have two gauges made using two different processes with identical installation processes, identical handling. I'm confident they will give us the same result. Good job. Okay, so here we have the two gauges we've just installed, the traditional CEA and the CEA made with Advanced Sensors technology. We've bonded them to these beams, wired them that you just saw in a previous video, and we've connected to instrument and balanced them to 0 with the beams mounted vertically. And we're sitting exactly at 0, so you see no difference. Can we see a difference in response? I'm going to turn my beam on its back. Alan, if you turn your beam on its back, and they both gone -1. Do they go back to 0 on their edge? Yes, they do. Can we go over the other way? And they both show +1 microstrain. Do they go back to 0? So these two gauges are identical installation, identical in performance. So here we go, advanced sensor gauge responding exactly the same as our traditional CEA. Absolutely identical. Both gauges at 0 when held vertically. -1, 0, +1.